Want to know the latest and hottest music hitting the airwaves? Don't be left out. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast. Jordan and Keith keeps you on the loop with everything you need to know.
Jordan and Keith.
From pop, rock, hip-hop, and the top 40. And we'll throw in news of your favorite artists, concert and tour dates, and so much more. Listen no further, because this is the gold standard in music podcast.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening to our episode 4 of our music podcast. This is Mariano.
And I'm Keith.
And you're listening to Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast. Now, we've got a couple great albums for you today, so let's just dive right in. And that first one is going to be Call It What It Is by Ben Harper and the Innocent Criminals.
Yes. And the second one is J. Cole. It's J. Cole live from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
That's right. And he did 2014 Forest Hills Drive, right? Just
Thank
the live
you.
version.
Thank you.
And that album is so good. But we'll get to that one. We'll get to that one later. Let's do Ben Harper's first.
Yes, Ben Harper and Innocent Criminals. What can I tell you? That's his original backup band. He parted ways with them in 2007. Mm-hmm. So it's been like, 7 years since they've been together, basically, or 6 years, something like that. I got to count.
You mean since they've been apart?
9 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
that's why we do podcasts and we don't teach math. Exactly. Right? Stay in school.
Yeah, 9 years since they were together. What can I say? So Ben Harper, and the Innocent Criminals, the album has a blues foundation that goes into rock and roll.
Yeah. I'm not, at least I never thought I'd be a fan of blues, but this album was good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
When I was first, when I found out we were reviewing it and I listened to it, it wasn't at all what I expected it to be. I enjoyed it. And I love he was so direct with some of his messages. I love that too.
Oh, yeah. Ben, he went in. I mean,
he went in for sure.
he went in. I mean, the first song is called When Sex Was Dirty.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, okay, is he just reminiscing as an old man or what?
It made me think of L.A. in the 1970s because the air was clean.
Yeah, exactly,
right?
Exactly. And the lyrics go, to all the sons and daughters of the boulevard who learned to go without sleep and to hide all the scars, who believed in the vagrant on Hollywood and Vine when he said a mile of gold won't buy you an inch of time. So he's talking about how it was, like you said, back in the day, like in the 70s and the 80s, when things seemed to be a lot more pure.
Right.
He said, we made everything we have out of nothing at all, way back when marijuana was against the law. We were always outnumbered. We were always outmanned. Went down on the road of ruin, but here we stand.
I like that song.
Right? And so then he goes, I remember when sex was dirty and the air was clean.
Exactly.
So I'm like, oh, okay, so it's not just about sex being dirty. It's just about how things were a lot purer back then. Well, I guess dirty sex was pure too, I suppose.
Well, I don't think he meant like dirty sex as in like rugged sex. I think he meant sex was something that was more hidden. Like sex was considered to be dirty.
Right. Oh, and the last line is, and everything worth knowing was in a magazine. So, which means no social media. You had to read. Yeah. You had to read a magazine. You had to read a paper. That was normal. Now it's like abnormal to be reading magazines and newspapers, apparently.
Well, I mean, all that's in there is like Kylie Jenner and and like cologne fragrances and.
Well, yes and no. I mean, if you go to the grocery market, you still see certain magazines. I mean, and you still have a magazine.
That's
rack,
true. I do.
And at the airport and stuff.
That's true. I do subscribe to Men's Health magazine. I love that magazine.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, there's. The whole digital age is cool because you get to have your magazine on your cell phone or on your computer, and I'm all for that. But there's still something about the feel of having a classic magazine or one of your favorite people on the cover, and you buy it because of that. Still.
Exactly.
And you collect that and that feeling, or a book. Just having that feel, reading it. I mean, there's still something to be said about that. It's about balance. You don't have to throw away one to have the other. You can have them both sometimes.
I agree. And speaking of balance, this album,
yes,
It was bluesy, and I mean, I won't pretend to be a huge blues expert, but it had a great bluesy sound to it, but it was a little bit more rock and roll.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, so Ben Harper started off with his first album was like a blues album, but then he morphed and evolved into like this rock and roll musician. Okay. And now when you hear this record, it's even more than that. He's just a musician that does his thing now.
What I love about him, and what stood out to me, why I like this album so much, was he just sounds different. Like some of my favorite bands, even in the rock and roll, kind of world, is think of like System of a Down. Who sounds like them?
Nobody.
Disturbed. Who sounds like them?
Nobody.
I love AFI. Who sounds like them?
Nobody.
No Doubt. All these people that they have their own sound.
Right.
Ben Harper is right up there.
Oh yeah.
It's a different sound, but it's his, and I love it. And he did it so well.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I was telling you earlier before the podcast, and I definitely want to say it in this podcast now, was that what I like about Ben Harper, he reminds me of Jimi Hendrix. Now, hold on.
Oh, that's right.
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
I'm not saying that he plays like Jimi Hendrix, because nobody plays like Jimi Hendrix but Jimi Hendrix.
Okay, let me put my gun away then.
Right, exactly. So it's not the guitar style. What I liked about Jimi Hendrix, what people fail to realize, besides that amazing guitar sound that he had, and it was the feeling. Jimi Hendrix, when you heard him or saw him play, you watched this man literally turn blues into rock and roll. Ben Harper does the same thing. So it's like he's one of Jimmy's kids in that aspect. You hear his blues foundation, and you hear him turn it into rock and roll, and then he might even go to funk and reggae, and you hear that on this record.
Right, which is funny because I'm one of Jimmy's kids. But let's get back to
All right.
That's not true.
You wish, but I hear you. Don't we all?
Totally
don't we
wish.
all? Yeah, but yeah, so that's what I like about what he did, was that, you hear him take blues and you hear him transfer it into rock and roll while he's playing.
How brave.
And not too many people can do that.
Exactly. Well, my thing is creativity. What I love about music, the way that I gauge a musician's, not talent, but a musician's kind of time under practice of it, is how far off the beaten path they go. Because when I've met lots of people who are like guitarists, singers, and all these different things, when I was living in LA, and they all practice the same way. Practice is all the same. They do their scales on the guitar. They all learn the same songs because they're easy.
Right.
Singers all practice the same kind of vocal styles.
Right.
But then they get brave, and then they branch out. Then they sound like Nirvana, and they do things that are off the beaten path, 3 chords in one song, and that's pretty much it. Or the raspy voice was kind of new. Like these things that they're risks that pay off.
Well, sure. I mean, you have to find who you are.
Exactly.
And every artist goes through that. Another thing about him that I always liked when I met him back in the day was that he always had a young man with an old soul vibe. And I still hear that in his music in a really good way, in a poignant way.
Right.
You hear the youth and you hear the wisdom.
Yeah.
You hear all that. So the album, the title track, Call It What It Is. You want to talk about that song and what that means?
Yeah. He should name a new album, Youthful Wisdom. That's a cool sounding title name.
Oh, yeah. Just give us credit.
Exactly.
Just saying.
No, just give us money.
Stop it.
Yeah, that was a very good album. But, it's just one of those things where you have to respect it. Even people I know who don't like that type of music, you just have to appreciate that there's so many, clones out there. There's so many, you sound like this person.
Yeah.
Who does he emulate? Nobody.
Nobody.
I love that.
And it's so rare and hard to have your own sound.
Right?
In the sea of so much stuff that's come before you.
Exactly.
Music.
But I think it takes bravery, though,
Yes. Oh, yeah, he's got it. Yeah. So the title track, Call It What It Is, he's talking about, racism and what's happened within the past 2 years with African-American people being shot and killed by police officers and things. It starts off, they shot him in the back. Now it's a crime to be black. So don't act surprised when it gets vandalized. There's good cops, bad cops, white cops, black cops. Trayvon Martin, Ezell Ford, Michael Brown, and so many more. Government, police in hard times, oppression, racism, fear, suffering ain't easy. Yeah, that's blues. But when he sings this song, it's blues, but it's rock and it's attitude. And he says, the hook, call it what it is.
Right.
At the end, murder.
Right. And I think...
So I'm like, what can you say after you heard that?
I think all the good musicians can talk about things in that way. Right?
Yeah.
Because what is music but just trying to get that message, across?
Yes.
And some people have a message that just... You only take it for face value, but these things are actually important.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
and
I agree.
They have the ability to do things for you and to you, and that's what I love.
Oh, definitely. And I got to tell you, I've seen his band several times. If you're not a fan of Ben Harper and Innocent Criminals, you will be after you see them. They're one of those type of groups.
You mean live?
Yes.
Are they one of those groups that sound the same live that they do in the album?
Actually better.
What? I want to hear them. That sounds awesome.
There's a classic double album they did. My favorite album with him and his band called Live from Mars. It's a double CD. So
we'll went all the way to Mars.
I know, right? We'll talk after the podcast. But
Okay.
I'm excited he got back with these guys after 9 years. I was so happy. I mean, I've been following him, but yeah, this is a great album. It's got plenty of attitude. It's just plenty of substance. It's just good. It's fun.
It's a potent album, isn't it?
Yes.
The messages in this thing are like, wow. You
Yes.
wouldn't expect that out of 13 songs. It's not
Yes.
that long, but man, this album is.
All right. Yeah, but it's cool. So yeah, check it out. If you're looking for something new, if you want to ease your way into the blues, if you want something that's
definitely.
bluesy rocky,
Yeah.
if you want something that's blues rock and more,
Yeah.
it's all those things.
If you want a great conversation starter, if you want to just hear, if you want to just hear music that's just good music,
yeah,
buy
check
this
it
album.
out. So we'll be back after this break and we'll get into J. Cole,
J.
his
Cole.
live album. So stay tuned.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA. From the UFC to extreme cage fighting, they got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back, everyone. Now, thanks for listening to these advertisements, and we couldn't be more excited because this is one of the best albums that I've heard in years. And I can honestly say with no exaggeration that I bought this, I think within 15 minutes when it came out on Amazon.
I think it took me like a day.
Yeah.
And I bought it myself.
Yep. And I listened to all of it within 4 hours, I had bought it, digested it 4 times.
What album are you talking about?
It's J. Cole's latest album, 2014 Forest Hills Drive, but this is the live version.
Yes. So what can we say about Mr. Cole? He's doing his thing. He's definitely a leader in the hip hop game right now.
Right. Well,
right next to Drake and Kendrick, they're all on that same level right now.
Definitely. Well, J. Cole has that. As a rapper, his rhymes are good. I love his rhyme structure. Those are always fun because they're different. Mm-hmm. I love when people when rhymes aren't so linear. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And it must be hard to do that and make the message potent at the same time. And he does a great job. And he makes his beats, and they always sound great. He has that kind of classical sound.
He makes his own production. I wasn't aware of that.
You didn't know that?
I wasn't paying attention. That's not like me. I'm slipping. Okay.
Yeah. I think a couple of the beats in this album were made by others, but he produces a lot of his own albums. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm going to have to pay better attention because, when Cold World came out, I was just like, not bad. It's okay.
Yeah.
But when I heard Born Sinner, I lost my mind.
Mm-hmm.
How about that album 2 or 3 times, dude? I got the clean version, the regular version, and the deluxe version.
I bought the deluxe version.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Born Sinner was tight.
Oh, you don't need to tell me. I'm a huge J. Cole. But I actually liked Sideline Story too, though.
Well, see, I don't have that one.
Oh.
I have to get that one. I don't have that one, and I don't have Friday Night Lights or Friday Night something.
Yeah.
A mixtape, I think he did.
Yep.
But because what I liked about Born Sinner when that came out, it was like a little trilogy that Hove had going. Jay-Z had the Magna Carta with him.
Yep.
He had J. Cole's Born Sinner and Kanye's Yeezus. So it was like a holy hip-hop trio collective records when you think about it. I was like, oh, that was kind of clever. Okay.
Well, I've been saying that hip-hop has been in a lull, and then a few years ago it jumped right back up.
Yeah, I can see that, definitely. But Jay keeps it interesting, though. I mean, the first single, I believe, was Apparently, and I like that song. He talks about how he was too self-indulgent and he apologized to his mom because he should have been there for her, helping her with her mortgage, and he was, chasing panties and getting dome. I was like, okay, I like the honesty.
Yeah, I love that, though, because he also goes on to say, but that's what got him to where he is, and look what he can do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. He said, I love my mama and I love my girl. She loved me like you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that, and I liked, I love Saint Tropez, and of course,
Saint Tropez,
Love
beat,
Yours.
Saint Tropez. Yeah.
I mean, Love Yours is just, he's just talking about, just be down to earth. Yeah, it's nice to have money, but that's not the most important thing.
Right.
I'm not disrespecting people who are rich, but, do you have friends? Do you have family? Do you have loyalty? Do you have your health? what's your take on this record? So,
Man, I listen to this record. I listen to at least one of the songs on it every single day.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That says a lot, man. It's and that when you hear the live album, because I didn't know this till I heard the live album. He states that they say that this is the first album to go platinum, without any guest features on it. He said they say that. I didn't say that. That's what they say. I'm like, oh yeah, he really didn't have anybody on the album.
He doesn't have any features on it.
And on this record,
and when we say guest features, he even made a lot of his own beats. Like that, that's what makes him so.
Yeah.
To me, the mark of a true talent and a true rapper. Nobody makes their own beats really, except for like Dr. Dre and
Well, that's not true. There's other rappers who do. You just don't hear about them.
But I mean, of this caliber.
Commercially speaking,
right?
Like I said, I didn't know that he was producing his own music.
Yeah. What I'm saying
is, I think of him as a rapper. So
because when I think of it in terms of not being, not really having a weak link, he makes good beats. He writes good rhymes. He can freestyle, which I love in a rapper. I totally appreciate rappers who can freestyle because it takes that extra level of creativity.
Okay. My only concern with cats who freestyle is, to me, they're not always the deepest with the lyrics.
Oh no, but
because the battle rap, it's just all battle rap, and battle rap can be, it can get kind of tiresome.
Yeah, battle rap gets old after like 4 minutes on YouTube. But
no,
but listen to J. Cole's freestyles, and he loves classics. So listening to him freestyle over Wu-Tang Clan beats, I can listen to that. Oh yeah.
I haven't heard that.
Oh yeah.
Now and then he. I mean, there's definitely tales about him growing up on this record. He talks about his hometown. He talks about his adolescence. And what's nice with a lot of the new MCs that the old school MCs didn't do is that, you hear vulnerability.
Exactly.
With this cat, and him and Drake are real good with that. Letting hey,
and Kendrick,
and Kendrick, that hey, I haven't always been tough, and sometimes I got played, and sometimes I lied to get what I wanted. Mm-hmm. So.
It almost had like a Tupac-y sense to it.
Really? You think so?
Well, Tupac would always rhyme about that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, but Tupac kind of changed. I mean, when he got with Death Row, it all went to a whole different direction than when he first came out.
That's true. But also, though, like one thing I noticed about Tupac and J. Cole, when I listen to J. Cole live, when he's like screaming, he even kind of sounds like. So it gave me a little.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see that, but okay.
Yeah, to me.
Okay, yeah, I don't see that at all. But I mean, he's probably but I can see that he's probably influenced from Tupac because at this point,
everybody's
so many people.
Exactly. I'm gonna be a rapper because of Tupac. That's right.
Listen to you.
But A Tale of Two Cities, I love that beat.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and that's talking about the rough neighborhood and people getting robbed and hands in the air.
Well, not just that, but again, this comes back to the creativity because rhymes can sound so linear, Just like we were talking about the other albums that stand out because they're different.
This album's one of them. Definitely.
Exactly, right?
And for him to do a live album of this too, I was surprised. And then he did like a medley of some old school songs from some of his other records.
Yeah.
So people were happy about that. So, and those were songs I hadn't heard before.
Bangers,
so,
I know. No, really?
Yeah, like I said, I don't have. Like I said, I think I got Cold World still, and I definitely have Born Sinner, but I don't have the Friday Night Lights. I don't have, or it might be called. It's called Friday Night something.
Friday Night Lights actually sounds pretty accurate, but we'll double check.
Yeah.
But man, Cold World is good. You haven't heard Cold World?
Oh no, I have Cold World.
Okay.
I just thought it was just okay when I heard it.
Oh, gotcha.
I feel like he hit more of a. See now. That was his first his first mainstream record.
Yeah.
But I felt like that wasn't his better record. I think he got better after that record.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
So, because Born Sinner to me, that's
I wonder because I often feel that way about artists' first albums. I wonder if he just did that one, casting a wide net kind of on purpose, and then gets deeper and deeper.
Well, it's possible, or it could just be growth. Because some musicians, it just happens that way. Sometimes people get cursed. Their first album's their best. Sometimes it might be their weakest, and they just get better and better.
That's true, but J. Cole has been good. I have old Big Sean mixtapes, and J. Cole was on one of the songs on the mixtape called 24 Carats of Gold.
Really?
And he's good even whenever that was. Man, I'm just a J. Cole fan from. I feel like my kind of music storage of J. Cole spans, I don't know, over a decade.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and then there was GOMD. That beat is so creative. It's just different sounding. It's almost offbeat, the drums, and it sounds really good, but he makes it work.
All right, okay.
Right? No Role Models, that was such a good one.
That's a great song, right? And that's talking about not having a father figure.
I know, and that song I think will always hold a special place for me because it also talks about, girls and what kind of girls you should not avoid, but just be aware of and just kind of, just open your eyes. And that song, when I bought the album, was right smack in the middle of like a kind of tougher period of my young life, which I know I don't know much about.
Okay, all right, it's all good.
So when I heard that song, I really felt
you related
that song.
to it.
Exactly.
And it was Friday Night Lights. That's the mixtape.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
I don't have that one. I need to get that one. So I can, because that's supposed to be like, everyone was like, oh, you gotta get this record. I'm like, J. Cole, J. Who? But no,
what?
But hey.
Dare you?
I know, but hey, now I'm in the know now. So like I said, he definitely won me over.
Yeah,
so.
He's good, right?
Yeah, it's a great record.
Love Yours?
Yeah, a very, very humble song. Just, I mean, and then like, even though like the title sounds a lot more dirty than the song, Wet Dreams. Oh, yeah. But it's about, the first time that he lost his virginity, and it's a good song, and it's a more pure song than you think it is.
Yeah,
don't
it's
let
almost
the
like
title
poetry
fool
that rhymes.
You.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't let that title fool you. I almost wish you would have called it something else, but I mean, it's a good song because it talks about him having a crush on a girl and how he lied to her to let her think that he was not a virgin, and yeah.
And the way he did to act like he knew what he was talking about.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean...
Check out the album if you want more details on it.
Right, I mean, so he definitely paints a picture. He gives you a great narrative the whole album
Definitely.
through. It's like one good ride. It's like, I don't know if you're in your car listening to this album, or if it's that feel, or if it's like you're at home and you turn the TV on and he's like... on television telling you, check this out for an hour. This is, like on some Twilight Zone stuff. I mean, it's because we talked before in the past about Drake's record and how that's cruising music. Yeah. And the J. Cole album is cruising music too, but I feel like it's also like a movie, like a television story.
I was going to say.
An episode or, in the life of J. Cole.
Right. Well, what I love about it is, life comes in seasons, as they say. That's a saying that I like to use a lot. Uh-huh. And I love that you use Wet Dreams because that one had a really slow feel. So did Hello and Love Yours and Note to Self. Yeah. But then there are some songs where he goes in. He's a good rapper too.
Oh yeah. Well, even
Fire
on his
Squad.
birthday, we're 28th.
Right.
He's like, you might be Drizzy, you might be Kendrick, He might,
right.
But you
and he
ain't
fires shots too.
Yeah, he's like, but you ain't me.
Exactly.
28th.
And in the live version too, like the songs that he puts out that he performs, that aren't in this album, but that are just huge, just banger songs. Like those are good, right? Like chart topping, and some of those, I'm telling you, his rapping ability is nothing to sleep on.
I agree. And we're going to go to a break, and we'll be back to talk about more of the J. Cole album and wrapping everything up after this commercial.
Sounds good.
You love it? You love the commercial? Yes.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back, everybody. Now, we hope you enjoyed those awesome commercials as much as we do.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Love them.
Right? Love them. But
yes.
We've got to wrap up, these two amazing albums. What can we say? Let's start with Ben Harper.
Yeah, Ben Harper and the Innocent Criminals.
Right.
9-year hiatus.
Come on, let's just call it what it is.
You cornball. Yeah, call it what it is. Yeah, great album. Definitely recommend it. It's excellent. It's on Stax Records, and it's cool. And if you get a chance to see them live, you won't regret it. Mm-hmm. Like I said, all his stuff with them was always good. So I'm glad he got back with the fam like that. So
definitely, I to be honest, I didn't know about them before, but I am immediately a fan. I like them.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I said, you got to hear the double live album, Live from Mars.
Okay, well I'll make you a deal. You J. Cole it, and I'll Ben Harper it.
You got it.
Got it.
Word. There it is. So yeah, it's a great album. You'll love it. Like I said before about Ben, he has that gift that Jimmy had in the sense that he takes blues music and he turns it into rock and roll while he's playing it, and you hear it.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I mean, there's a track on that album that's reggae as well. I was shocked.
There is. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, a real positive track, and that track is, what do we call that track?
I liked it too. I remember hearing it. Like, was this? Did I switch albums?
I know, right? It was Follow Your Heart. Hold on, what is it called?
I think it is Follow Your Heart.
Yeah. So, yeah, he did his thing. He definitely did his thing. So you'll like that. What else were we gonna say?
It's really good. Well, again, it's just a unique sound. It seems to me brave. I think it's something different, something, where you kind of push music forward. Like if somebody builds off of this, they'll make a great album as well.
I agree. Definitely. So, and J. Cole, man, yeah, he's.
I'll touch the points that you just touched with Ben Harper. J. Cole's with Columbia Records, but this album will be his last with Columbia Records.
Oh, and Rock, because he was on Rock Nation too with Jay-Z.
Yep, now he's with Rock Nation. Columbia Records was his last with Columbia.
Okay.
Yep, now he's moving on.
Okay.
So let's see how what comes of that. I'm sure it'll be great. And he also sounds good live. You ever watch his concerts like on YouTube? Or I can't wait to go to one.
But the CD was so good. I can't wait to check it out.
But he carries energy when he performs too. He's such a great live performer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, and I was surprised that he even made a live album for this because I didn't know he was going to go there. Because he didn't really have to because the studio album was so good.
Yeah.
But I guess, but they're like a companion piece. So.
Yeah. Well, I like to think he just liked it that much that he thought it needed something more,
Yeah. Well, and it gave him a chance to talk more about what was going on in his life.
Exactly.
Because like he said that when he wrote Saint-Tropez, he never went there before. He said he just picked that, but I mean, I enjoyed that story that he was telling. And yeah, it's just, and
he's
then
on his way, he's about to get paid, he's on his way.
And that riff is reminiscent of Shaka Khan and Rufus, a song called Hollywood. So yeah, that's where he got that from.
Okay.
Yeah, so
he picks really good music samples too, like Workout. Yeah. Straight up, now tell me, do you really want to
Paul Abdul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it when you can hear people sample things in hip hop and, you find out where it comes from. Or like later on, I'll stumble onto a record and I hear that.
And you're like, whoa.
That's what I sample.
Is that girl
from.
copied J. Cole? Oh, no, wait.
Like, no. As Dikembe Mutombo would say, no.
No. The finger.
Yes, you have to block that one down. But yeah, so the J. Cole record, 'cause I'm not sure if a lot of people know that live album came out.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Pick it up. If you're a J. Cole fan, yeah, you want to hear some good hip-hop of today, yes, that's relevant and poignant, get that live album from J. Cole.
Let me just say, I feel like I can probably recite the album front to back. And if you have the studio album, it's still worth it to buy the other album. It's good.
Oh, yeah. They're like like I said, companion piece. They're
right.
It's like almost a double album now that album came out. Yeah. You have to have both now at this point.
Well, it just gives it a different feel,
Yeah.
It's so good. But I feel like a steady base would be to buy the studio album first, get the songs down, and then listen to the other because it's a bit more like abstract, but in a good way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So what's your favorite songs off that record?
Off the live record?
Yes.
I really like how he did.
I'm sorry, my bad. And let me rephrase that. What's your favorite songs off the live record, and are they different from the actual studio record?
They are not different, but I like them better on the live record, and I'll tell you why. Because,
what songs?
No Role Models.
Okay.
A Tale of Two Cities.
Okay.
Saint-Tropez and Hello.
Really?
Yeah.
And why you like him better?
Well, the reason I like No Role Models better is because he emphasizes things better. So
okay.
I actually watched it. There's a video too that the live when he and he makes everybody point up in the sky and he's first things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
James Avery.
Right.
Yeah.
And he that showed me, even more so than the album that like, man, he really loved this man. He cared for him. That's great. That's nice.
Yeah.
And it's just a deeper, you almost feel like you're getting to know him better.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, yeah. And, it's I mean, we take for granted because you hear so many rappers who tell you that they didn't have a father.
Right.
That's not always an easy thing to admit to anybody, especially to the whole world.
Right, and like you know what that means.
You know what
exactly.
I'm saying?
Exactly, and he's brave enough to do it in that way. That kind of leaves you open, you know. And I like that. And A Tale of Two Cities, it just live that beat. Just when it drops, it drops. And if you were to watch the videos, you know, or just watch any of his live versions of that song, when that beat drops, hands in the air. Now the whole place just goes crazy. I love that.
Yeah, no, because he turns it up on that track.
Right. That's what I mean. Is his music can be so potent and so direct, but he also can carry energy.
I agree. He definitely carries energy, and that's a great example of what I mean by he's really painting a narrative, a picture. It's writing music, but it's also visual. It's like I said, it's like you could be sitting on your couch or in your chair in your living room and turn on the TV and expect, you know, his record to come on.
Right.
Because it's just like I can see him in a black suit, you know, like, greetings, I'm J. Cole. And here's my episode.
Exactly.
You know,
or
and
what
that's
about
good.
J. Cole? Let's turn up.
Yeah, I mean, and that's good when you can see that picture.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
well, again,
true
I think
narrative.
life comes in seasons. So when you see that picture, to me, that just shows the authenticity of I'm not fake. You know.
Right.
These are the things that we all go through. Sometimes I feel high energy. I feel like doing something. Sometimes I feel kind of down, and I feel a little more quiet, a little more kind of subdued.
Right. So what we're saying is, it's a great live record. For those of you that didn't know, it's out. Pick it up. You won't regret it. You'll love it. And thanks again for tuning in, listening to us today. I'm Keith, and he's
Mariano. Pick it up.
Yes.
I want to see in December if that's going to be one of my top 5 albums of the year.
Oh, okay. All right. I want to see that
and it
too.
came out last year.
Right. Exactly. And you can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. You can
iTunes.
Yes. And
Google.
And
GSMCpodcast.com.
Yeah, there you go. So thanks again. You know, we appreciate all you guys. We have fun, and I'll see you somewhere out in space.
Space.
There you go.